Are we good? Okay. All right. I'm gonna call to order this meeting on it is what's today? August 1st, 2021 or 2023. Oh boy, 2 years ago. Okay, so call to order is these proceedings are being recorded for the purpose of constituting the accuracy of written minutes. Tapes are reused, eliminating recorded records of these proceedings. The meeting will be in perpetuity on Facebook. Let's have a moment of silence and prayer. Okay, and then let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next is roll call. Before I do roll call, I also want to, we got a new board, our newest board member, who is Jason Bell. So we will add you in our roll call. So we have Dr. Dawn here. Okay. Christina Zawakil here, Peggy here, and Tawny here, and then Jason
Here.
Perfect. And then Jason, is there anything you want to say to the board as the newest board member?
Not much. I'm sure you're familiar with my background. I have some years experience in dog law, police work, and now I'm a Humane Society police officer. So anything I can bring, I'll be happy to help.
Awesome. Well, I feel for all of us, we're glad you're here.
Thanks.
Welcome. And yeah, we'll continue on. Okay, next, we are going to do, this is a new part of our itinerary that we put on. It's called Happy Tales. And the whole point about this was back when I went to the Lehigh Valley, I sat in at the Lehigh Valley Humane Society. They did this thing called Mission Moments, which is basically like that, where we go around, anyone's welcome to say it. It doesn't have to be a board member. And you just say something happy that happened either at the shelter with the dogs or just in your own life with your own animals. So, and it doesn't have to be one person, it could be multiple. So if anyone wants to say any of a happy tale experience, you're free to say anything.
I have something. I'm Brutus. I was scrolling through Facebook the other day and I saw Brutus's picture. And it was on a public dive bar site, and they were thrilled. The man was very happy to have adopted Brutus, very happy with the shelter, and this site has a few thousand viewers, and a lot of people have chimed in talking about Tom, all the great work him and his staff does up at the shelter, and they just had nothing but positive feedback, and so happy on a dive bar site to see the puppy and talk about our dogs. So it was really, really nice to see all of the positive that came out of it. And he shared Brutus's story about being adopted or coming to the shelter with the porcupine quills. And it was so nice to see on such a big website, everybody commending the shelter and the staff and what a wonderful job everybody does. So I thought that was very nice.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
I love that. I'll share one little story. It doesn't have to do with the shelter specifically, but a couple weeks ago, it's also not dog related. This can be like all animals, obviously, because like Dr. Dawn, you deal with all animals. But a couple weeks ago up at Macaluso's, my grandmother works up there, and there was a kitten that got dumped. I have the kitten now and I'm socializing it. But yeah, so just something nice that everyone does. The shelter does it. Everyone who loves animals And if they're qualified and have the experience, can do it, is like help animals however you can. No matter like, no matter if you work at a shelter or this shelter, just help any way you can and get it out there. Yeah. Okay, does anyone else want to share anything? No. Okay, perfect. Okay, next, we're gonna do approval of last month's minutes. So may I have a motion to approve the minutes for July?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. I'll second the motion. And then all in favor? Aye, yeah. And then anyone opposed? No, okay, perfect. And I was supposed to say too, I forgot this, but did everyone get the email copied of the approval of the minutes in like email? Yeah, did you too, Jason?
I did, yeah.
Okay, awesome, cool. Okay, and then next is our guest and public comments. We have Tom here. And can you say Michelle? Awesome. Do you guys have any comments or want to say anything specifically?
No, we're good right now.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming. Okay, next is commissioners' comments. Commissioner.
Yeah, well, good evening and welcome, Jason. And I'm glad you stepped up to the plate. I know your name was sitting in there and we were waiting for the opportunity, and I'm glad the opportunity came up to bring you onto the board based upon your experience and background. I know it's been a year or so ago, I think, when we had a conversation to better understand the role that you had and others within that kind of authority. So thank you for stepping up to the plate. It's appreciated. I do know that Ellie has been communicating in regards to, let's say, action items from the last meeting. The only item she should not have communicated on, or actually did not communicate on, would have been under committee reports number 7, B and D specifically, potentially A, and that those action items, the ability to move forward with those would all be dependent upon the shelter status, such as to a nonprofit status. So at this time, there will be no action on those particular items. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Lukasevich. Okay, next is the chairman's comment. So I only had a couple. The first I wanted to do was to thank all the supporters who donate to the shelter. Be that through your time, if you volunteer, if you share anything on Facebook, or if you share anything word of mouth, and then also just any type of donations you give, money wise, treats, anything. I know the shelter and Tom really greatly appreciate it, and they share that on Facebook all the time. But I just wanted to, every month we always want to, at the official meeting, really emphasize the thank you to the community. The other thing is the best friends updates. I'm gonna, Peggy, put this in the chairman's comments, so then we don't have to have its own in the agenda. So for the best friends partnership, I have registered us. We are officially registered. Exciting stuff. Took a little bit longer than it should have. And now we have all the contact information for the Northeast region person with best friends. And I'm going to reach out with a few items that we wanted to talk about with marketing, not really marketing, but like how to help get animals maybe adopted easier, if they have any good ways to help us, any resources and all of that. And we had some other ideas. So I'm just going to reach out with that person and talk to them. But that's where we're at with the best friends. We have registered. Obviously, Jason, you weren't here, but I'm sure you know about Best Friends Animal Society.
Yes.
And yeah, they just have a partnership, a network, and we're just a part of that now.
Okay.
And if anything, we have any questions or we need any help with anything, we just reach out to them, and then they can kind of guide us to where to go and stuff like that.
Perfect.
So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. And then that leads me into the next point that I wanted to make. So I think last month we talked about this, but for transparency, every month now we're having work meetings with the board. The board is having work meetings that are not live, and we're not voting, we're not doing anything like that. It's just for the 5 of us to come together and talk about organizing the official meetings, seeing where everyone sits, and then everything we discuss, we'll be discussing at the official meetings and then voting and going through that. So I'll just every month just remind people that that's like where all these conversations came from, and then just go from there. And then the only other thing I wanted to say was I feel like in the last month, really great teamwork. I feel like there's been more organization than versus the past, and really a lot of listening and helping each other out when needed. So I just wanted to appreciate everyone who's been doing that, and really excited to have Jason with us to continue that and collaborate. So yeah, I just wanted to say that as a whole. Okay, next is the director's report. Tom, would you like, if you're here, would you like to?
I don't have it in front of me.
Oh,
so
you don't?
If somebody wants to read it, and
Okay.
I'm here to answer any questions anybody has. So
Perfect.
feel free to.
All right, I just wanted to make sure if you wanted to read it.
No, if you don't mind.
Okay, no problem. Do we have, we didn't print that out. Okay. I have my phone. I didn't print it out. Question, for Commissioner Lukasevich. Previously, I think Corinne printed that out for us, but I could be wrong. She did, right?
I got it here.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Is it possible for Ellie to do that, or is that too much on her plate? Because if not, I can do it.
As long as they're in a timely manner, we'll ensure someone prints them in follow on or subsequent meetings.
Okay. Awesome, thank you. Thank you, Jason.
No problem.
You're on top of it. Okay, so for the director's report, we have 2 job statuses still open. We have a K9 officer full-time position open and a kennel worker part-time position open. All the rest are filled.
We have 2 part-time open.
Oh, 2 part-time
We
open.
did interview.
Okay.
We have 2 people pending.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll get filled very soon.
So the full-time is,
We have one
Filled,
full
right?
timer besides me. So
Okay.
she's already been on board. That's Tracy.
perfect.
And now we're looking for 2 more part-timers to help us out. And we believe we may have them.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom, for
Yep.
correcting that. Okay, kennel space, we have a number of kennels of 16. Number of dogs started of the month was 9. Number of dogs end of month was 8. Adoptions, there's 4. Owner surrenders taken in was 1. Hold and release to owner was 4. Dogs rehomed instead of being at the shelter was 6. And then total number in care at one time was 9.
Is this for last month? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you're right. This is no, oh, I see. This is early 2023. This is January, February, March, April on here. Not,
Yeah, that can't.
yeah, you're right. No, it's not. Hold on.
I printed some, but I don't think I have that.
Thank you, Tom.
No problem.
I should have looked up. I have it. I just didn't print it out because I don't have ink at my house right now.
I think the problem was that spreadsheet was so big. I had to try minimizing it on my computer to read it.
Okay.
So.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, it was. That's what happened. It got cut off.
Oh, is that one?
No, it's okay. Yeah. Technology. No, I understand. Yeah, okay, so we're in July. Okay. like Tom said, he is correct. This is correct on for the spaces vacant and filled. Okay, so for July, we have let me see here. Total number of kennels is 16. Number of dogs started at the month was 26. Number at the end of the month was 24. Okay, adoptions was 5. Owner surrenders taken in was 2. Hold release to owner was 8. Dogs rehome instead of at shelter was 3. Total number in care at one time was 28. Police calls was 5. And calls after hours was 6. And it's not on the report, but I did want to say, Tom and the employees did a really great job this month. You guys had a lot of dogs up there at one time. And I really wanted to say that officially live, because if people don't follow on Facebook, they don't realize how many dogs you took in.
Right.
And I just wanted to make that known, which is also the numbers. As I was reading it too, I was like, that's not right, because I knew in my mind you guys had a lot more.
Well, you've been here, you've been helping, so you've.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to state that also. Okay, perfect. All right, and then we're gonna vote. May I have a motion to acknowledge director's report? Motion by Dr. Don. Okay, and a second.
I'll do that.
Awesome. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, awesome. All right, next is going to be our committee reports. First, we're going to do facility upgrade recommendations. The first we had was the outdoor kennels. You have they're all in here. Okay. Actually, before we talk about this, I wanted to go back and talk about our paper copy. So let's just hold on the committee reports. So in our work session that we had in July, we as a board discussed having a paper copy instead of the email copy. So I mean, obviously we can still email Ellie, but having a paper copy for each commissioner, and then whoever is in favor on the board, we will write our names, and then each commissioner gets that to look over, instead of having possibly emails get missed or information getting relayed differently through email, not to anyone's fault, but just because life's busy and sometimes we miss things. So that's what we wanted to vote on that today, having a paper copy trail of all of our recommendations to the commissioners. Does anyone have any questions on that or any confusion if I'm not explaining it right? Okay, so are we good to vote? Okay, so may I have a motion to present paper copy recommendations to commissioners? Any motions? Okay, second.
I'll second.
Okay, awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, awesome. Okay, now we can go to the committee reports. And we're gonna do the facility upgrade recommendations. So the first one we have was for the outdoor kennels. Which in June we submitted to purchasing. Reason was for many arrested, potentially injury to dog or staff. So we wanted to vote to have a follow-up in the paper format for the outdoor kennels. So we will vote. May I have a motion to follow up in paper format these recommendations for the outdoor kennels? Any motion?
I make the motion.
Okay, second, all right. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. The next would be for the clothesline and spigot, which the clothesline, there was a maintenance request submitted also in June. The reason was that towels take exceptionally long to dry, with the shelter at almost double capacity at the time that we suggested. It would be very beneficial to have the line to hang out towels on a nice day. And also just when it's, yeah,
The clothesline was installed today. Today or
Awesome.
yesterday.
perfect,
That's good. We're happy to have that.
awesome,
Yeah, that makes a difference, yeah.
yay, we did it. You did it, I didn't really do it, you did it.
It's gonna be very helpful.
Awesome.
We had one before and it rotted away, but this is gonna
Perfect.
help us out, so.
All right, great, so. The clothesline is done. Okay, the next one was for the spigot for the tub, has that been taken care of?
We're in there yesterday. They did look at it, so I'm sure within a day or two that should be done. Also.
Okay, so we don't even need
Not
to
a
vote
big
on
deal.
that.
No. that should
Awesome.
be good.
Okay, thank you. Glad you were here to tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's that. Let me just- Okay, and then was there any other work orders or written reports? Well, okay, so on here, Tom, because you're here, I want to ask you. So we have the entrance sign that visitors can like come in the employee door only. Has anything happened there with that?
Somehow there was a screw up. I guess Maria was under the impression that the maintenance supervisor was gonna handle the sign since we had discussed the sign with him.
Mhm.
And we assumed that the sign was ordered, and this goes back to January. And we just found out within the past day or two, while she was finishing up the reports, that it has to be done in another process in order to get the sign. So that's why I think she removed it from the report, because it's in limbo right now. I mean, we need it, it's good to get, we're gonna figure out how to get it, but we all this time thought it was ordered and just we're waiting for it. And apparently the way that, it gets done, there was a little bit of confusion.
Fusion, okay.
And keep in mind with the county, there's a lot of people that have left and new people have
Yeah.
come in, so. You have to give
Yeah.
everybody a little time to adjust to, so.
Yeah.
It's a learning
Awesome.
process for us also. I mean, we're getting a lot of things done now, so it's everything's starting to move a little bit smoother, so,
Good, okay, so we'll vote on that to put it on our paper format.
yeah.
Just so we can, like you said, continue just to be, it's aware.
It's important to have it, yeah.
Right, okay, awesome, so yeah, let's make a motion on putting on the paper format for the entrance sign for the commissioners as a recommendation. So do I have a motion for that? Okay, second, I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, any opposed? No. Okay, the next one we had for any other outstanding work orders was the screen door on the reception entrance.
We
No.
don't have it, no.
Okay, we don't have that either. Okay, and that was just to add an extra layer to prevent a dog from just running out the door and to get some air circulation in the room where needed, just so everyone's aware. Okay, so we will also make a motion to follow about that up in paper format. So do I have a motion for the screen door on the reception entrance? Okay, a second.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No, okay, and then we have the employee entrance door does not close. That hasn't been,
I think they looked at it, the storm door now does close.
okay,
And when they were in there doing the clothesline, they were actually looking at the back door because we had asked for the rear door in the kennel area to be replaced.
Okay.
So they did look at that and measure that too. So hopefully that's coming very soon.
okay.
So
Do we feel we should put it in if they already looked at it? We can, just because you never know, we're all human. Okay, so we will make a motion to follow up in paper format about the employee entry door that does not close that we would like to be fixed. Do I have that motion? I'll do it. A second. Okay. All in favor? Aye. And then any opposed? Okay, and then one more thing for the work orders, we have the van headlight.
Yes, it came in today. They put it in today.
Wow, so many things came in today.
Check it out yesterday and they put it in today.
This is wonderful. I'm so happy. Okay, great.
And
Okay.
keep in mind with the doors, the shelter itself has 3 doors.
Mhm.
One has been replaced, the one in the reception area, which is perfect. Then we have the inside door, but not including that. So we have 2 other doors that go in and out of the building. Those doors, I'm sure, are 30 years old.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it might just be wise to replace them with doors with a little window, kind of make it a little better instead of a solid door. You know, the fact that they're 30 years old, they're starting to rot, things like that. It might be time to just replace them with new, so then they'll be good for another 20. So.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Yeah, good to know. I don't see it. Oh, yeah, right up here, back door. Okay, one more. So the back door to kennel room. The reason for the recommendation was there is a large gap under the door, water is able to come under the door.
Correct.
There's also a potential for snakes to get in the kennel room. And then also, we said that considering rattlesnakes are in the area, something to get not even fixed, probably just replaced.
Right.
From the sounds of
And
it.
that's the door they measured, so.
Okay,
They
perfect.
inquired about, they had a list and they came and they looked.
Awesome, yeah.
So,
I would say just like all of the doors. I wonder if that's how we should just stay, just like,
Well, some have been replaced.
right, some have been replaced, but
Not been
then,
replaced.
right. So that's probably just how we should word it. As long as everyone's okay with that. The ones that haven't been looked at, to just be looked at.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay. Okay, awesome. Okay, so that is that. Okay, the next one we wanted to talk about was security. Hold on, I have to find it in here. Is it on this one? Okay, awesome. Oh yeah, I have it right here. Okay, so just to give a little information about security, back in it was like early July, someone overnight left a dog in one of the kennels unattended. They really should have just called to be like, hey, don't want this, want to surrender this dog. And if anyone's listening, please don't just leave your dogs unattended at the shelter or anywhere, just call the shelter. Tom will be gladly to talk to you, I'm sure. So yeah, so please do, don't leave your dogs unattended, but someone did that when the employees came in the morning, there's a dog unattended, and it brought up an information about having security at the shelter in case it would ever happen again. Hopefully not, but in case it would. So we reached out to Ellie just to see what they, what we could do about this as like ASAP, because we didn't want it to happen again. So Ellie did update us, and her update was, Ellie is meeting with a vendor to obtain a proposal for a fire alarm system to be monitored directly by the communication center. In the event of an emergency, the fire company, shelter director, EMA director, and the CART team will be notified. Someone donated security cameras. Cameras will be installed on the outside of the facility. Previous experience, we cannot monitor employees. And then a base radio with 2 portable radios are being purchased for use at the facility. The base radio will be at the reception desk, 1 portable for the director and 1 portable to be used when an employee enters the kennel area. This will be government frequency monitored by the communication center. So that was the update from Ellie. Okay, anyone have any questions, concerns? No voting on this one. It's done.
I know the communication centers go into a digital frequency in the near future. I don't know if that was thought about if you purchase or or pay for radios that are not digital within a year, less than a year now, the communication center will not be able to, it won't work.
Okay,
So, it would probably be wise to get with Gary Williams at the comm center and see what frequency or what
I think
products.
Gary worked on getting these
Oh,
radios.
okay.
okay.
I think he was directly, involved in getting the radios. I would like to ask that I get some kind of guidance, maybe a letter from the commissioners on when and who should be using them. I think we need to actually put these in place so we could test them as far as the work environment, because we may have a problem with these type of radios when you're mopping floors and walking dogs, things like that. So I'm excited that we have something here for the safety. I'd like a little guidance on who should be wearing them and when, and then we could, see how a week or two goes with it. I'm sure I'm gonna get a little, kickback on it because it's something new, but it's important. But we have to make sure this is the right handset for our environment, because when you're mopping and when you're scrubbing walls and when you're bumping in and dogs are pushing you. I mean, I wasn't there when they brought them, but they said it set off 911 like 4 times when they were setting it up. So.
The dogs don't
Yeah,
realize.
so is it a case that we want to use them when there's one person in the kennel by themselves? That's when it would be most useful. When there's 2 or more employees on the property, you can usually pretty much, everybody kind of knows what's going on and covers each other as far as eyes and ears, so.
Yeah.
Just a little guidance that way for me. It could come in a just a memo like, hey, Tom, we'd like the workers to use this when they're alone in the back, or we want them to use it all the time, and then see, because they may be a little too cumbersome, but we're not gonna know till we try it. And that was the safety issue that came up with the insurance company, because their concern was really me, which I appreciate, because there are times when I'm there alone. And I make sure my workers always have somebody with them, but there are times when I'm alone, so they were concerned about me, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I have no problem being safe,
Right.
so, but we have to test it and make sure this is the right thing, or adjust it so that we have something that's gonna help us, so.
But it's practical in the real world,
Mhm.
not just on.
And the fire thing is amazing, I'm so happy for that, because when they came in, to me, that's an investment that I hope we never need, but we have it. And it's there, hopefully it's gonna be there, and that shows that we really do care, so that to me is worth everything, so I'm really grateful for that. So,
I'm glad it worked out.
yeah,
Yeah.
it did work out,
Yeah.
and they understood, and it was nice, it was just a good feeling that people care like that, so
Yeah.
I'm glad, and I think our supporters will be happy too, knowing it's there. So.
Commissioner
Thank
Lukasevich, do you have anything to say about the guidance part that Tom suggested?
Yeah, it would be more practical if we got a recommendation from Tom, because again, he's down there at the tactical level. I think he would be best to offer advice and counsel on how they best can be employed to mitigate risk. So really, my recommendation to my colleagues would be, hey, the shelter writes up a draft policy on their utilization and push it up to us for approval. Because again, we're not in there day in, day out, but Tom hit on something that we internally spoke about. We see the greatest risk is when it's an individual alone in the kennel, or maybe working alone because no one else is there, and they're going to need some type of assistance because of interaction with the dogs, accidental fall, whatever occurs. So again, my recommendation would be, let's have it rise up how we're going to use it from those who are going to be using them. How can we best employ them in that environment to protect the employees, the animals, and our visitors?
Perfect, that's not a problem at all.
Do you have?
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
I'll talk to the staff
Okay.
and we'll put
Yes.
something in place, and then I'll send something down to the commissioners.
Perfect.
Probably within a week, and
Yep.
we'll try to work it out so that it can go as smoothly as possible.
Yep.
Another good thing about it is that, just a reminder, we're right across from that prison. We get a lot of visitors that come out of that prison and want to stop by either to kill time, use a phone, wait for someone. So having that extra little bit of security where you're really just going to hit a button. I tell my employees all the time. You call 911, any problem, our police are there for us and they always respond quickly and we never have a problem, but they need to know we have a problem for them to come. So I think that alone is gonna give some of the workers peace of mind knowing, hey, if I hit this button, I'm good. I don't have to open a phone, I don't have to dial, I'm good. So it's really gonna make a difference that way. So it's a
And
good
if you
thing.
need any help with that, just let the board member
Okay.
know, you know, like if you get busy or something.
Yeah, okay,
Okay, awesome though.
perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the security, all good, positive, progressive things happening. So that's awesome. Okay, so the next, we're gonna do advertising, marketing, fundraising ideas and recommendations. So a few of these things, yeah, but a few of these things were the ones that Commissioner Lukasevich was talking about. So I think, should we still talk about them? Do you guys still want to talk about them or? Okay, okay, well, we'll just talk about them and then go from there. What, do you have last month? What were the ones that Commissioner Lukasevich said?
A, B, and D.
For two, right? It was
Yeah,
two.
two A, B, and D, if I recall correctly. Yep.
Sticker and the print advertising.
Okay, so. For the 2B, which is all, I don't know if it's 2B from last month, but 2B this month is the shelter support sticker, which I know is one that you talked about, Commissioner Lukasevich. However, I want to bring up what we all talked about at the work meeting, was that I brought up about how does the shelter have a logo? What is the logo for Carbon County Animal Shelter? That's a question to you, Commissioner.
There is no formally approved one.
Okay, so what I brought up was that when I was registering for the Best Friends Partnership, they asked me what our logo was. I didn't give them one, obviously, but it made me think about how our idea for the support sticker could also be the logo, and maybe not a sticker, but a logo.
We've always, in the past 11 years, we've always gone by, it's all about the dogs.
Yeah,
So it has never been official,
Right.
but it kind of lets people know we are a dog shelter specifically.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, use it, don't use it, but that's what a lot of people know us by. It's all about the dogs. So just something.
But
to
not a
think.
graphic, it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah, no graphic. We
No
never had any
graphics.
graphics.
Yeah.
okay, awesome. Well, yeah, and the idea of it just made me think about how our idea about the sticker, we could also use it as a logo. So like our idea of how we were going to let the public send in artwork wouldn't just have to be a sticker, it could be a logo. But is that the issue about the nonprofit you were talking about, Commissioner? Is it?
No,
that-
I don't think there's any problem with, should there be a desire to design an official emblem through a contest, meaning, reach out to high schoolers, whatever, and stuff like that. It's more about providing something when you're seeking support, right? You're out there soliciting support, then you're giving something for that support. That kind of goes into that gray area of solicitation, right? And again, as a county government, we don't actively go out and solicit because of the legal requirements associated or limitations, right? And so, that discussion is ongoing about, what should the status of the shelter be? And you guys had this internally, if I recall, should it be a quote unquote nonprofit of some form or fashion?
Yeah. Go ahead.
But was it not said that we can solicit up to 25,000?
That's what we were told.
We're already past that. We can accept donations of that amount before we have to report it. We've already exceeded that number. In a couple minutes, Jeff can talk about that when he talks about the annual budget process, but we've already, or Bob, the solicitor, we've already exceeded that amount. So we do have to legally report to the state now.
Donations are included in that. That's not separate.
Donations, anything monetary and in kind is valued. And we far exceeded that, which is a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
thing is, right, there's that support, it just creates an administrative burden on the staff.
But I didn't think we were actively soliciting for donations, so yeah.
Right, so
That's where I'm
my question was, I
confused,
guess he's saying
because-
it doesn't matter. If those donations come in, that is toward
Yeah.
the solicitation. So
Right,
therefore
that's towards the donation.
So even though we weren't actively soliciting, that still is included. It's
Yeah.
not separate, but that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you see, like 2D 2024 calendar fundraiser, that's solicitation, right? That's the other one that's kind of connected to that, right?
Right, we were all thinking about this as fundraisers for financial, for the shelter, not realizing donations were included. We just thought donations were donations. We thought we still had the ability to fundraise an additional 25,000, since that's what the limit was, which is why we came up with these, unaware that donations were included in that.
All right.
Okay, so let me have to go back and draw.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The ones that we have, the print advertising, the the sticker, all the advertising stuff, fundraisers. I think we should just at our next work meeting talk about it a little bit more, and then we'll see what we can come up with and just talk, and we'll talk about it more in September.
Yeah, and what I would say is hold steady state, like the annual yard sale that Tom has been putting on and stuff, right? If I recall,
Yes.
Stick to that. Don't go beyond that yet until we have some clarity, right?
Okay, so the yard sale wasn't included in that.
No, because
Okay.
Tom has historically been doing that, right? Again, so no one said, hey, don't do that, right? And Tom, I actually thought that came across our desk for approval already. Did you not see that?
That was a while back. That
Yeah,
might have come across, the committee itself might have even asked about it. But with everything going on as far as the ventilation system.
All right.
And this year we're limited now because we made the new lobby room on storage. That it might be a little difficult at this point to actually, collect the stuff and do it, so.
And we
All
have
right.
our agenda tonight. That's why I'm double checking, because we'll talk about that now.
Right.
We thought maybe, like Tom said, we also agreed as a board that it might just be too much for
Right.
fall,
Right.
just because there's so much going on up at the shelter, and it's just a lot for
Yeah.
all of you guys up there. However, we're thinking maybe spring, having more time, and the board can really help too. Not that I know you guys have always done it and we're not taking over, but just having more people to help out.
Right.
So we were thinking, like spring,
That's fine.
if that's okay with
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited about the ventilation work,
Yeah.
but I know it's gonna be difficult trying to hold something in between. So if we can just go the way we're going and build on the committee and build on the relationships and go from there. I think the donations have been always steady and getting better, and then the support is there, so that helps us a lot too, so.
Well, how about my idea is, how about in like November, we bring it back up again for spring, and then we can maybe
Right.
vote and let's wait a couple
We need to
months.
let people know that it is
Yeah.
coming, and then they're gonna be excited about it, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, like we could pick a date, like maybe at the end of this year, pick a date, or like a time in spring,
Correct.
and then go from there.
And in the meantime, there's like Annie's Ice Cream is doing something
Yeah.
for us, the jukebox car cruisers did something for us, and we were there. We also recently we had a dog at Tractor Supply. They did donations for us. We were down at the Weatherly Library. They had a day program with the kids. We brought the dog and talked about the shelter. So we have been out there, so people haven't seen us, which is good. And, you know, anytime our local media want a story or, you know, we participate because we know how important it is. So people seem to like to hear what's going on and they follow us. So
Perfect.
we're still out there.
Awesome. Okay, good. I'm glad we talked about it. Yeah, so we'll just hold it until November and then we'll go from there. Perfect. Let's also talk about, I know I'm skipping around, Jason, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Let's talk about fall foliage booth. Cause I know that was a big one we talked about in the work meeting. Okay, so for the fall foliage, it was just having an informational table. And in the fall foliage is every weekend in October in downtown Jim Thorpe. And we just wanted to have some pictures of dogs at a booth down there, nothing crazy. Probably have some volunteers just mend the booth, you know, tend to the booth. Ask any questions, and I know I was told, I don't know this for a fact, that a lot of volunteers are interested in helping out. And that it would be an awesome opportunity to take people up. They can help volunteer because sometimes certain people can't walk dogs, so this would be an awesome way to help the shelter out. So is there anything anyone wants to say about that? We can vote on it if we want to. Okay. So let's, I'm gonna make a motion to vote on having informational table at the fall foliage this October in Jim Thorpe. Any motion?
I make a motion to put it out there. Now, are we okay to advertise that? I mean, it's advertising, it's not soliciting.
So we have to get permission to be there from someone?
Yeah.
We did have.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna let Commissioner speak, but Brian, I think his name was, came from the Jim Thorpe Tourism 2 meetings ago, and he said he said if we ever needed anything, wanted to be a part of the tourism, please reach out to him. We didn't reach out to him yet, however, great question.
I think we're okay,
right,
as far as he's concerned.
But with the county.
The county.
Yeah, so Commissioner Lukasevich,
permission with that?
what do you think?
One, you do have to request permission through the Board of Commissioners. 2, understand that you know, the county has leased out its property. I'm going to say leased out Josiah White Park and surrounding areas to Jim Thorpe Tourism Agency. So they do have the right to allow or not allow vendors, information tables. That would ultimately be up to them, you know, based upon the commissioner saying, you know, we don't have an issue with it. I think, though, what happens is on this particular one, you may not be soliciting, but people are going to be wanting to donate. So, right, because of their presence, people are going to be handing dollar bills at you. So, you know, does that cross that line of actually soliciting by default?
What
You know, and you're going to say, well, I don't want to take it. I don't want to take it. I mean, that's, again, I'm trying to play devil's advocate, what the solicitor might say. But I would say, put the request forward and let us work through it.
Right. And I don't know, my idea is like, what if you, I get what you're saying, Commissioner Lukasevich, but what if you just, you know.
Can I kick in? This is Jeff Weiss. So you guys.
Hi, Jeff.
Let me just, you guys, and Chris kind of said it, or Commissioner Lukasevich, however you want to put it. You've kind of crossed the threshold. At this point in time, I think the plan is to file. So at this point in time, whether you solicit or not doesn't matter because you're going to file. So, I mean, you can pretty much at this point in time, if the county has determined it's going to file, then you're free to do whatever you want.
we're free to do anything we want
With approval.
with approval, right?
I'm just, yeah. I'm not
Right,
speaking
but-
for the commissioners. I'm just saying from the point of the filing and the solicitations, once you're doing the filing, then you're free to do you're free to do the solicitations and do fundraising. The problem became when donations were just being given, it was one thing. Once they kind of started to be putting out that people were requesting it, or even if you go to a meeting, and somebody brings up, oh, you could donate to the shelter. Well, you've now crossed the line, to be perfectly honest. So even if you can donate a bag of food, dog food, you've crossed the line. So that's where it's gotten to. And that's why the decision, I think, has been made based upon all the emails I saw. The county's going to file for what's coming to the animal shelter.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
I guess for the fall foliage specifically, so we don't get out and go crazy. I know for my intention was just so people saw what dogs were adopted. It really wasn't about asking for money. Though I understand, when you're out there, people are going to do what they want to do, which, is their right, and they can do what they want. So I don't know, for me, I think we should vote to ask permission, or not permission, but recommend doing the fall foliage booth to the commissioners, and then go from there, because it's for the dogs. We want, got a lot of dogs that need to be adopted, and that's how I feel. I don't know about anyone else, but that's where I'm at.
Right, so I make a motion that we ask for approval through the commissioners to have a table at fall foliage, as well as contact Brian
Yes,
to
of course.
ask for approval as
Yeah.
well to participate. And
Just with dogs that are adopted, just pictures.
just an informational session. And if people donate, we obviously have crossed that threshold, so
Yep.
whatever. But
Yep.
we're not out there seeking it. We just want to have an informational booth is what we're asking for permission for.
Yeah.
So that's my motion.
That's first motion. Is there a second? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. Okay, that's that. Okay, the last thing under, I don't even know where, we're under the fundraising and all that, but this is a little different. This has to do with the shelter. It's, we wanted to propose, November to be half price for veterans to adopt annually. So then we don't have to every year always propose every November that it's half price. Yes,
I did ask this a few years back and was told that they couldn't do it.
they can do it.
So that's why every year we put the
Yes.
request in for it.
Okay. Is that Commissioner Lukasevich, do you have anything to say?
I don't recall that coming up in the last 3 years. It may have, but I don't recall this current board publicly voting or privately discussing this particular proposal. Tom might have better understanding of when that decision was made or communicated to him.
Yeah, I remember, Commissioner, matter of fact, you had said that the reason that it couldn't be done is that you would be making a decision for future commissioners, which should have the opportunity to make that decision. So it actually makes sense. So it actually makes sense, and it came from you, so.
Right,
It's not a hardship to request it.
Yeah.
He's always on top of that for us, and but that was the reason, and when you think about it, that does make sense.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like something I would say.
And then it could cause a problem, years down the road, so.
Yeah, no, that's good, Tom. That does sound exactly like something I would say.
There you
not
go.
Committing a future board, but
Yeah,
go ahead,
let's
ask
pay
it.
attention.
Right, I would say ask again, you know?
Well, we're going to make a motion to approve and submit a recommendation of annual designation of November half price adoptions for veterans. I will motion. Is there a second motion?
I second it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Jeff, does Jeff want to talk? Does he have to like go or anything? I didn't even see you there, Jeff. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I don't have my camera on because I was out mowing lawn before I came into the meeting, so I'm not dressed appropriately. So I don't have a camera on. But yeah, I can speak at any time because actually I'm supposed to be somewhere at 7, but they'll wait for me. They'll wait for me.
Well, no, then go ahead. You talk.
No, I didn't. Chris asked me to be on, so I don't know what he wanted to. I don't know if you want to say something, Chris, before you.
No, Jeff, as I may have mentioned, if you could just discuss where we are and how the budget process occurs, since we literally have just started it. And then if you know off the top of your head, we had been regularly providing this commission with financial reports. And based upon financial reports that we had been historically given them monthly, is there any benefit for them to continue to receive monthly financial reports? And if so, what information might be relevant to them just for their situational awareness?
Oh, well, we'll start with that before we go on the annual budget process. So yeah, I mean, the monthly reports will just show you what's been expended. I mean, Tom probably gets them. I don't know if you get them or not. Because most department heads have access to them online, which I don't know if Tom does or not. I can't remember. But what those reports will show you is, what the budget is up to that point, what the annual budget is, and then what you've spent so far. So it just gives you the idea of, we're 6 months into, June reports. We're 6 months into the year. And if we've spent 95% of our budget in a line item already, we probably have a problem. So that's the main gist of looking at the budget. The other issue becomes if, you see that you're not spending money in a certain area, that gives an opportunity for you to go to the commissioners and say, okay, we've not been spending this money. We have an idea to do something else with it. Would you do a budget amendment to allow us to do something different? But that's what those reports are. And my apologies. I was on vacation at a conference all last week, so I did not get in to run any animal shelter budget to actual reports to see where you stand. But as I said to Chris, I can do that tomorrow while I'm at the county. Just so everybody understands, I'm an outsourced financial director. I guess is the way you put it. I'm not there full time, but I'm there, on a fairly regular basis, usually each week, sometimes a couple days a week. But at times I'm not there for a week or two at a time, depending on what the rest of my schedule looks like. But I can look at the reports, and anybody has any questions, I can always answer them. I can even send out, on a couple quarterly basis or whatever, if the board decides or whatever, if they want to request it, I can look at the reports and kind of give you just a snapshot of what I think. So that's what those monthly reports would do for you if you're looking at them. I don't know if it's necessary for the board. It's probably necessary for Tom to understand where he's spending money and what he has left in his budget, and to know what he can spend or not spend. And then it's his responsibility, I guess, to go to this board, and ask for them to go back to the commissioners if there's something else that's needed, or, additional money is needed in the spot. I believe that's the way you're working. So,
Okay. Yeah, I brought this question up back in June because I just became the chair, and we weren't really sharing the report previously before this, and I was kind of confused. So thank you for clarifying that, Jeff. So yeah, I mean, for me moving forward, I think if there's anything Tom wants to share with the board about it, you can, but I'm not going to, it's so long and big, I'm not going to share it at meetings. I'm fine with, I just wanted to make sure I didn't have to. And it doesn't sound like I do unless there's like, if we want to share anything specifically. That's what I took from it.
I would probably agree with you. I don't know.
Okay.
And then, so on the annual budget process, usually it starts at the end of September. However, this year it's starting at the end of August, or the end of July. Went out yesterday, I believe. And actually they're due back from the department heads on August 25th. I believe in the past, and Tom, you can correct me. I know, Tom, you worked with Colleen a lot in the past, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
To work on that budget, and I'm assuming maybe you'll work with Lisa on some of those items and getting it together and getting it in. But really what it is in the next few weeks, just determining here's what we want to spend money on, looking at where you are this year, looking at what you spent money on so far this year. And then, the major issue is capital projects, capital items, or items that aren't ordinary, so if they fall under $5,000, they're not per se capital. But even if they're, not normal purchases, if there's items that the shelter is going to want to buy, this is the time to put in and ask the commissioners for it. So then that comes back. So then the process comes back. Tom submits it. We get all the department heads put in their submissions. We get one nice big number. I tell the commissioners how many $1 million they're in the hole, and then they start trying to figure it out with all of us. But then we go through a process, sometimes at times, calling in department heads, depending on which department heads the commissioners want to talk to. Mainly it's the bigger budgets and the ones that are way off base in comparison to prior years. So, and if there's a significant request for capital projects, I'll probably have that discussion. Sometimes they ask me to just have the discussion with the department heads rather than coming in, kind of saves a little time. So that's how the process goes. And then the end of, they will look to adopt a tentative budget by the end of October, and allow the public to have any discussions on that before November.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jeff, for explaining that.
Yep. So we're actually 2 months. Normally the tentative adoption is done the Thursday after Thanksgiving. We always try to push for the Thursday before Thanksgiving because the budget needs to be adopted by midnight, December 31st, or the county can't pay any bills comes 12:01 a.m. Saturday or January 1st. So, and the budget needs to be publicly displayed through a tentative adoption 20 days prior to that. So that would be the 11th of December and the 31st of December are the drop dead dates, as I would put them.
All right, great. Any other questions from anyone?
And just if I could add,
Yeah.
in the past, we've never made it difficult at all.
Yeah.
We get by, and this year, when you look at the ventilation system, a couple of years ago, we got air conditioning. The projects like things like that come our way, and we're happy to have them, but I don't see anything where we're looking to spend $500,000 or anything. I mean, in the future, if we talk about expansion, that'll be another subject, but right now for this year, I'm pretty happy with what we have, and if we can get our employees on board and have enough staff and work it out that way, I think we'll be moving in a good direction for the new year. So
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Do you have anything else to say, Jeff? But I know that was my only question about, I was just wondering about what I had to say, but you explained it all very well.
No, I think that's it. I mean, Tom brought up, the budget goes from salary, goes from personnel right down to, every single little piece of paper you buy. So, personnel hate to use the terms because it's called the blue sheet. Every department head gets a blue form, and they can put back in, personnel changes they want, or things like that, or keep it current, whatever it is. Tom's seen all them pink, gray, yellow, and blue forms.
Mhm.
So
Awesome. Well, thank you.
no problem.
All right. Thank you, Jeff.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, next, that was all of our marketing, advertising, all of that. So next we'll go back to old business. We're gonna go to the mission statement, which we got an update in July. We received an email notification from Ellie that the mission statement we recommended at our June meeting has been approved. I will just say it real quick. So everyone, Jason, I don't know if you've heard it, so we'll just say the mission statement. So here's the mission statement that has been approved. Our mission at Carbon County Animal Shelter is to provide a healthy, safe, and caring environment for the loved, lost, and abandoned dogs, while working to serve and assist the residents and our local police with canine matters. We are a no-kill shelter with minimal adoption fees, working to best match each dog with a family while ensuring a smooth and timeless transition to their new and loving home. Every day, the dogs under our care are loved as our own and will be part of our hearts forever. So that is the mission statement. So we just wanted to vote to have this be the final acceptance of this mission statement and also be put on the county's website under the shelter page. So I will make a motion to have this be our final acceptance for this mission statement and to have the mission statement be put on the county's website under shelter page. Do I have a motion?
I make the motion.
Okay, do I have a second? Awesome, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. The next I have is under old business is the discounted adoption vouchers. So this is a little different than the monthly, than like November half price for veterans. This was the idea that each month Tom would have a specific amount of vouchers to hand out to people serving. That was the idea, right? It was, do we have it written here? Oh, sorry. Oh, it's this one. There's just a lot of papers. Vouchers, here we go. Here we go. So it would be the director would use at his discretion 3 per month, do not roll over to the next month. And they may be used for current volunteers, Carbon County Police, Fire, and Comm Center who help with dog matters, veterans in months other than November, and anyone who finds a dog and brings it into the care of the shelter who is interested in adopting. And the reason for this would be so it's a good tool to use to help a dog find a home and thank those who want to help the shelter and their services also that they have done, and to honor them also. So we wanted to make a motion to recommend these vouchers for the discounted adoptions. Is there anything else we want to change? Or is there anyone wants to say anything? Yeah. What do you think about
What
that?
do you think about that? Do you understand what she's?
Yeah, I think it's great. We have down there a file we actually keep that we have a lot of nice people who prepay adoptions. Okay, we have one gentleman in Cunningham, twice a year he comes and pays for 4 adoptions. So we have that on the side, and then we take it on a one-on-one, who should take it, who we're gonna give that to. The thing that we always say is, we never say a dog is already sponsored, because then it's considered a free dog. When they're getting ready to write the check, that's when we let them know. And then we tell them you could use your money to buy a bed or a wellness check for the dog in 30 days or something like that. So everybody's been very appreciative that got it in the past. And a lot of people pay it forward, so it's working. So I think that's great, because we have a lot of police officers that help us with these dogs. We have a lot of firemen help us with these dogs. We have a lot of veterans that could use a hand. So hey, that I like that idea.
Okay.
Because that's almost like you're giving a discount every month in a small way. And when you look at our adoption fee, you can't beat it with a stick, because I tell people, if you found a dog on the highway and took it to the vet, it costs you $400. What we're giving you for $100. So it's I like that idea.
Okay,
I
good.
do like that
Yeah.
idea.
Maybe we should add park rangers, since we have
Park
Beltsville and
I mean,
Hickory Run now, bring in the rangers, the last one.
Right.
days,
Oh,
the
yeah.
dogs have been brought in by park rangers too.
Right,
so-
correct, correct.
And that's why it would be at your discretion
Yeah,
too, you know, we don't have to have entitlement as the board, you know, whatever you feel
No,
that
it'd be
month.
nice, because I'd like to be able to add in the monthly reports that we were able
True.
to take advantage of these coupons and so we see this, so, you know.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. it'd be
Yeah, and if
nice.
no one understands, like if I'm confusing or it doesn't make sense, just ask, yeah, because, you know.
They're
it's good to know.
definitely doing a good service and they're
Yeah.
taking their personal time to help Tom and help the shelter and bring it. And if it's my understanding, both the park rangers, did they bring them directly to the
They
shelter?
got me at
So
the shelter, yeah.
that was
It good. It
Beltsville,
was
they're
10 o'clock
taking
at
from
night.
their big time job at Beltsville. They're leaving the park to bring a dog to us. And was it Hickory Run last night?
Hickory Run, yeah.
Did they
10
bring the
o'clock.
dog down? Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was a you know, big thank you to them for going out of their way and bringing the dogs to us as well. So
Awesome.
you don't realize everybody that's involved in bringing these dogs in us. So, yeah.
Awesome. All right, then, may I have a motion to recommend these vouchers for the discounted adoptions? Okay. Second, all in favor? All, any opposed? Awesome. Okay, the next one is the Canine First Aid and CPR class. This is supposed to be on my radar, and I'm gonna be completely transparent. I haven't done a thing with it. It's been a busy last month. I'm going to dive really deep into it this month. And if anyone has any contacts, like Jason, if you know anyone, I'm just basically looking. So I used to live in Indiana for a while, and I did personally, I went to a animal shelter out there and did a canine first aid and CPR class for the public. And I thought it would be cool if we could have someone go up to the shelter and have the employees have it done. Also, maybe volunteers, whoever's out there. But obviously, I know you guys are all real busy up there, so you might not be able to take time out of your day to go somewhere and do it. And I thought it'd be cool if we could get someone locally.
There's there's a nonprofit in Allentown who does that, and they also donate oxygen masks for dogs as part of that. So I'll look up their name. I have a contact info already, and we'll see if we can get any connections made.
Awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah, just and then if you want to, just let us know at the work meeting.
Okay.
And then we can talk about it next meeting. That would be really awesome. Cool. Yeah, so we will definitely for September, fall, really look into that and hopefully get it rolling and moving. Perfect. Okay, and then the last thing I have on old business is staffing. And it's the staffing, removing current wording from the description, not like staffing the people. So we were talking about how in the job description, some of the wording may deteriorate, but maybe deter applicants. Especially, I was rereading one from just June of 2022 of last year. I don't know if it was updated this year, but the canine, like the part-time, they say some things that I don't think the part-times do, though I could be wrong, and I wanted to ask you, Tom. So two of the things we had down was, one of the things says humanely disposes of unclaimed strays, and the second thing was removes and disposes of sick or elderly domesticated animals at owner's expense. And from what I thought, that was just the director's job. Is that like every employee that does that?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, personally, that was something that I normally handle 99% of the time, only because it's a difficult thing to do sometimes. But there are times where you need assistance with it. I mean, you can get a 150-pound dog, and you know, so we get calls where dogs are hit by cars and die in a gas station parking lot, and they have to be removed. We get calls where dogs have been involved in a fire. And we remove them from the scene then and take care of them. So it is really part of it. I could tell you this month and last month, we assisted our state police and Lansford police. They did a welfare check, and inside the homes were the owners were deceased. So that's something that we do too here in Carbon County, but on calls like that, I handle them.
Okay.
I handle, so,
but assistants,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Maybe it's just the wording, because the
Yeah.
first paragraph of that, the very first
I
bullet point of the part-time job description makes it sound like if the dogs come into the shelter and they're unwanted strays, that the part-time person is responsible for
Right.
getting rid of it. That it, to
The
me, that's the
question
way
came up at
I
a
read
recent
it.
interview.
Okay.
The girl was upset, because she
Yes.
thought she was gonna make a
It's sort of
decision like,
claimed.
you know, Lucy is old and we need her bed, so it's not that, so I mean.
It's like, just the way it's
Honestly,
worded,
it could
just
be
have-
removed because the director, I would think, would be responsible to make sure that chore gets done. I would decide if I needed help, who was gonna help me that way.
right. And I'm just wondering if maybe we don't remove it, but like Tawny says, we like reword it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and maybe we can, I don't know if we want to vote on tonight, maybe like at a work meeting, kind of discuss what we could reword it,
Sure.
and then next month, bring it up.
Yeah, because every.
If I could, let me interject. This is an HR issue. Any
Right.
modification to any job description has to be worked through with HR. I'll also tell you that resulting from the salary study, they probably have a backlog of 50, 60 job descriptions. Each job description to be redone probably takes 10 to 15 hours. And I'm not talking full man hours, but I'm talking multiply that by multiple people working those 15 hours. So again, just some expectation management. If you want to suggest, or Tom wants to recommend having his job descriptions looked at, he gets with Sam, Lisa in HR and gets that in the queue. And then once that moves forward in the queue based upon priority, then he can, of course, seek and solicit y'all's input in that. But ultimately, it'll be Tom sitting down with the HR team to work through that, because any change could impact salaries, wage steps, things of that nature. So there's a ripple effect from even, removing one task or adding one task to a duty description.
Right, but we're not, we're just rewording. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but for me, what I see, it's good to know. I understand. It's good to know, Commissioner Lukasevich. I get what you're saying. But we can't, yeah, I mean, we'll table and we'll also talk about it more. I also think we can't be afraid of what HR, how much backlog they have. I mean, ultimately, we still want to talk about it and see where we're at and if we want to move forward.
Right. No,
yeah.
having that discussion is great. Like I said, though, if there's actually at some point where, again, Tom agrees there's a need to modify a job description. Again, it doesn't get done until HR works through its process and ultimately makes a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners, or potentially to include the salary board for a modification.
Okay, perfect. Well, at least we know the process now, so we can move through it easily. So thank you. Okay, that was all we had for old business. Was there anything else anyone wanted to add for old business? No, we're good. Okay, the next is new business. I had one thing I wanted to add that we didn't talk about in the work meeting. I just thought about it today and I wanted to bring it up. I was thinking, could we possibly do like a seasonal newsletter? I know like you share a lot on Facebook, which is awesome because people get to see like all the different dogs. But is there any way we could, now I don't know if this is something, I guess I would have to ask the commissioners, like Commissioner Lukasevich, where like if you do a newsletter, I was thinking seasonal, like winter, spring, each like seasonal, you kind of just go, hey, this is what's going on. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. You can show people like what kind of dogs, like who got adopted, if there's any volunteer opportunities. But I guess for my question about it would be, would we have to put it on county website? If we would, like, if say it would happen.
Yes, and I think that's how we would want it distributed on the social media that the county has. Then it would be affiliated with the animal shelters page on the website and what's referred to as our document hub.
Okay.
Yeah, again, if we're talking, it's going to be an official county publication, then absolutely. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's a great idea. It's a great idea. Again, someone has to do it, someone has to edit it and
Right,
everything. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and I don't think it should happen like next month. Like, I just wanted to bring it up and see, and also we can't expect Tom to do this or like, because obviously they're busy up at the shelter. And it would have to, it'd have to be something that if we all wanted to do it, we would have to talk more about. But I thought maybe it would be even something small, just like a page.
Well, I think it's
or
great because I read all the comments, and the minute somebody posts about the dog and it's adopted, all you have to do is show the dog in the bed.
Yeah.
That the dog is sleeping on a couch, the dog is in the bed, the dog is out of the shelter. Everybody wants to see a follow-up. And like, especially Mama, I think Mama is like the biggest celebrity around. Everybody asks, did Mama get adopted? Everybody wants to know about Mama. I think once these dogs that are our little famous dogs up there, people want to follow up. So even if we just have some type of newsletter and let those families share something with us so we can share with the community, I think they love hearing those stories. Once they see, because I know in Sophia, I mean, everybody was going nuts just to see how happy Sophia was when she was home with somebody. So I think it's a great idea, and the community all love something like that.
It's like happy tales.
It is.
That's the fun. Okay, awesome. And we'll talk more about it. And if you guys have, Tom or Michelle, you have any ideas or, anything like that, we'll just, we'll table it for now, but talk more about it. And does anyone else have any or new business?
I have something that goes hand in hand with the first aid training and CPR classes. Tom, I don't know if the girls talked to you about the man that was in on Saturday, the venomous snake guy.
I did see something about it, yeah.
There was a Rudy that stopped in on Sunday. He was from the Venom Institute. He's holding a seminar, and Commissioner Lukasevich, you might be familiar with it. It's on September 9th at the Carbon County Emergency Management Agency. It's for all first responders. It looks like it's a 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. seminar, but it's focusing on for law enforcement, firefighters, code enforcement, humane law enforcement, EMS. It's certificate courses on pre-hospital care for snake bites. He said because our area, which I know there are rattlesnakes in the area, he said for us, anybody from the shelter, volunteers to the director, to the staff, anybody that wants to attend, he will focus on what to do if an employee, a volunteer, somebody was bit and the dog, first aid care and first response for venomous snake bites. He says he holds this. He's out of Tamaqua, but he said it'll be how to properly treat. And he says a lot of people, they want to tie a tourniquet or try giving the dog like Benadryl or something to fight it. He says you don't want to do that. And I'm sure Dr. Don, I don't know, do you have any type of snake venom there at the animal shelter?
Unfortunately, no, because it's too expensive.
Is it?
And unfortunately, the lack of it really, it's not really cost effective. The emergency clinics do carry it.
Okay.
And there is actually a rattlesnake injection that can be given preventatively. Again, very expensive, so only certain clinics carry it. Broadensville Animal Hospital does carry it, so just so people are aware as well. But most of the time, it's just that till you get to a facility where you can get that.
Right, and I think it's a rare occurrence, but I know the snakes are up there.
It
And I
happens.
know your girls are showing me a picture.
There's a lot of snakes up there.
Yeah, they had a big one the other day. It was the the northern it looks like a cobra one. It's non-venomous though. It's the I can't think of it, but as soon as she showed it to me and that Rudy, he knew right away. He says it's not venomous, but they act like they're the most dangerous snake out there. They come up like a cobra, they flare up, and then, yeah, so I think one of the girls had.
It's a good, seems
Yeah.
like a great thing. The trick is to find somebody that wants to do it and spend all day doing it.
I know, and that's,
And if we could, you know, if we got 2 people to go and then share the information, that would be
Yeah.
great too.
what day is it on?
September 9th, it's a Saturday.
Saturday, okay.
And it's right up there. It's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So
Okay.
even though it focuses on all of the law enforcement firefighters, maybe I can find out when he would hit upon, like, for the animals, snake bites, and maybe if, you know, I'd even be willing to attend a couple hours if it's just on first aid care for the dogs. You know,
And where was this at?
right up
Right
at
at
the
Nine
emergency
one,
management,
right?
yeah, at the emergency management.
Yeah,
building.
I could see how it would be hard for the employees though,
Yeah.
because, if you work on Saturday, you can't go,
Right,
yeah.
but just something
Yeah.
to consider if anybody wants to attend. Like I said, I can find out more information if that's something that you're looking at, even if it's just some type of first aid care for the people or the dogs, if something would happen, because I do see
And I'd be interested to
pictures
see
with the snakes and all that.
what your
yeah.
contact
Mhm.
says too, like depending
Sure.
what they do, because I know some CPR, pet CPR, they do like a wide variety of things, they don't just do one thing. So, but I feel it's still
Yeah.
really interesting that he came and told everyone at the shelter, that's
Even a
awesome.
dog that's choking or something like
Yeah.
that, you know, like how to save a dog, you know, they're picking up something on the walk and it's like, what do you do? Yeah. And I'm sure it's rare that it would happen, but it's always in the back of your mind, especially when I'm walking through the woods with the dogs. I'm like, oh, where's the
Yeah,
snakes?
biggest thing is balls.
The what?
Yeah,
Oh, the
Biggest thing is
ball,
balls.
yeah.
People give tennis balls and they're running and they
Oh.
suck it in and now you're stuck,
Oh,
so.
yeah.
those are
and
things-
ropes, right, they're bad.
Well, that, yeah,
Yeah, they're like,
for intestinal issues, yeah, but,
obviously it's a little different, but
Mm.
yeah,
yeah,
awesome, thank you, Tom.
yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
so I just thought I thought he was an interesting man when he was there. He was very,
Informative.
yeah, very informative. So it's something if you know, if anybody's interested, it's there. Mhm.
Does anyone have any else for new business?
One other thing, it was just kind of brought up recently, again, just food for thought. The shelter is obviously ridiculously overwhelmed right now. And trying to find ways to help Tom with the amount of dogs that are coming in. Again, we talked tonight about what our mission statement is. And the shelter was really brought about for stray animals. Unfortunately, and I'm gonna get myself worked up here, there are a lot of people that do not accept responsibility for bad decisions they've made in their lives, and that's unfortunate. But it is not our responsibility to take on these animals because of these bad decisions. And what's happening is it's taking places for stray animals in our shelter because of that. So is there a way that, I understand with the commissioners and the county, foster programs are frowned upon due to liability. But is there a way that we could start a foster program on the side before an animal even enters the shelter? It is not property of the government. It's property of this person, and we can give them contacts for foster homes so it doesn't have to enter the shelter, so that the shelter can still be for the strays that are needed. Because the shelter is so full, we've had to tell people, I'm sorry, we don't have any room. Well, if Tawny has a dog who has a dog aggressive dog and she can't keep this dog, what is she supposed to do with this dog? And some people are just letting them go. Well, no, we don't want that to happen either. So I understand that there's the liability. We can't do the foster through the shelter.
But can't, like, my question to that is that the truth, like, not the truth, but Commissioner Lukasevich, what do you feel about that? Is that even a possibility for a foster
I
option?
haven't seen a proposal.
Yeah.
brought forth to
I-
us
Okay.
in regards to that. So,
Yeah, we haven't ever reached
So I
out
guess
to
then
do
that's
that.
maybe that's rumored.
Right.
So what we're saying, so I guess then maybe what I'm thinking in new business is at some point through one of our work sessions, maybe we want to discuss starting or creating some type of foster program to help alleviate some of the shelter overflow. So that way, one, it's better for the dogs. Who wants to have a dog stuck in the shelter? They want to be on the couches, they want to be on the beds. People are always willing to help. It's just, it's not ever been created. So maybe looking into starting something like a foster program, whether it be through the government or if for some reason it doesn't, then maybe doing something on the side to kind of help alleviate some of this excess dogs. And like we said, using it not so much for strays, but maybe for the unwanted dogs that, you know, they just need another home because unfortunately, you know, circumstances don't allow that.
And sometimes people are responsible.
And I think to avoid liability, if we don't term it a foster program and do it as a referral service,
Okay.
that way the person who currently owns the dog would make all the contacts. And it would take the county out of it completely.
Okay.
And we could have a directory, and if someone contacts the shelter and says they want to surrender a dog and they don't have space for it, they can provide them with the information to, okay, call some of these people and see if they want to take it for you temporarily.
I love that.
That way, all the liability is on the dog owner and not the county.
Okay.
Awesome. I know I'm glad you brought this up because I know I brought it up in one of the emails and you know, we're busy with all the other stuff.
Right.
But it kind of got pushed down. But I was even thinking too, I like the referral service idea. I was thinking though too that it could only be like board members, trusted volunteers. Like, yeah, you're not just allowing anyone to come and foster, depending on if we propose it and what would happen. But I do like the referral service. If, like you said, worst comes to worst and we can't do a foster program, that would be a great way. So yeah, we can talk about the next work session and then bring it up at our next meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah,
Perfect.
awesome. Thank you, Dr. Long. Okay, anyone else for new business?
I'd like to bring up something in
Yeah.
new business. Commissioner Lukasevich was good enough to send somebody to the shelter. I got an email, notify me they were coming about the sound issue in the back. And the gentleman brought to my attention that with so many dogs back there now, it's at a dangerous level. I mean, we're working in that environment. Now, staff itself, when they're in the back, the volume is very low, very, very low. But when somebody visits and goes in the back, all the dogs go off, which is natural. Ariel Murphy, who used to work for us and now volunteers, came up with a great system where we have pictures of the dogs in the lobby. We have them in a book and we have them on a bulletin board. And maybe for the time being, with so many dogs, we should limit those visits in the back. Because otherwise we have to think if we're responsible to give people even earplugs because the volume is very loud. So when you don't realize it's a problem, it's okay. When someone brings it to your attention, then you really have to address it. And the sound level back there, when you have 16 dogs is one thing. When you have 28 dogs back there, and 3 people walk back and they want to talk and they're making noises and you have all these dogs jumping, spinning, barking, you don't realize yourself that sound is damaging. So maybe until the volume of dogs goes back to normal, we might want to limit our public going in the back as long as we could provide the information up front. And then if they say, well, I'd like to look at this dog, we bring that dog up forward. Because it really is, I mean, you know yourselves, everyone is from being back there. I could work back there all day and nobody barks, but you bring somebody new in the hallway almost and they go off. So when the gentleman said, and to be quite honest, when he took that measurement of the sound and said, this is dangerous, I had 7 dogs out in kennels. So he wasn't even getting the true effect of what it was. So I think at this time, because we are in a crisis mode with this amount of dogs, that we might want to limit the visitors in the back. We could still show them the dogs, We could show them pictures of the dog, provide me information. I don't think it's gonna hamper any kind of adoptions. But I think that's a good thing to do for the safety of the workers and their guests who come through.
Can I also add to that? I don't think that's a bad idea, period.
Right.
Two reasons why. One, the stress of the dog from
Right.
having new people there. And two, people don't get to really see the dog. They see a crazy dog
Right.
in a kennel who's
Right.
acting like a lunatic. That deters them.
Right.
Where when you pull it out, they're like, oh.
So this may be the perfect opportunity
Absolutely.
to walk into that
Yeah.
permanently, but at least now temporarily, since we do have this information.
Yeah.
Tom, would you have space on the property for like a small wooden, like a tool shed type kind of building? That if we get donated, that you could use as a visiting room where you can show them the pictures of the dogs? And then you can bring that dog into a,
Sure.
an
There's
environment
space.
that's,
There is space,
Why?
sure,
okay.
sure.
Well, it's kind of what the garage is now, right?
That's what the lobby is, but again,
Right.
we have a lobby, so it's a working lobby, and you
Yeah.
have some people walking in with donations, so if you had a building on the side, 10 by 18, one of these portable things they bring in. It
Yeah,
would definitely help, because when people take a dog for a walk, they could come back and meet a staff member in that room.
exactly.
And then you're not dealing with phones ringing and things like that, so
And a lot of,
that would be an excellent idea.
a lot of times too, there's that aggression from the kennel. And if you bring that dog out,
Correct.
that aggression can again go on to the new owner or potential owner, as opposed to the dog that is trying to get out,
Right.
nearby. So,
So that's an excellent idea, and I don't think we'd have any problem as far as either donations or raising the funds for that at
okay,
all.
I know like Home Depot and Lowe's, every year they donate all those display models. So I can reach out to, Walmart, Home Depot, whoever sells
Right,
them, and
right.
try to get one
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah,
well-
there is room there, so I'm sure we
Okay.
can make it nice and.
Yeah,
That would be great, because we want to give the adopters as much time as necessary. We always tell them that. It's a minimum of 2 visits, always,
Yeah.
but if you need 6, we'll give you 6. We're not gonna adopt that dog out if you're showing interest in that dog, so we want to give them the time and the space and that little bit of comfort zone there. That may work for them, but I think right now we need to limit all these people going
Yeah.
back. Because quite honestly, we do have this many dogs, and it's not fair to the dogs. It really isn't. It's not good for the staff, and it's not good for the business. You have people going back there with 2-year-old children in their arms, like,
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
we're, and just because we became aware of the problem from somebody who's in the business, yeah, I think we need to address it. So I'd like to limit it right now because of the situation we're in, but look down the line as to what could work.
But it does make a huge difference, because when you go back there, they're crazy, they're spinning, they're jumping and everything else. But when I'm waiting in the lobby and those girls bring the dog out, they're like jumping in your lap. So it's a different personality from the kennel,
Right.
because they're acting like a pack. One barks, they're all barking, they're all going crazy, they're spinning in circles, they're jumping off the walls. You bring them out like Tiny and Big Red, when you're back there, they're jumping, they're running around. I was up on Sunday and the girls, the minute the leash is on them and they're in the lobby, they're running to you, they wanna kiss you, they wanna jump on you. Like the mama dog, Pepper, like she just jumps right in your lap, but when they're in that environment with everyone going
Right.
crazy. So maybe even so, when somebody comes up and says they want to meet the dog, a meet and greet one-on-one first, okay, I wanna see all the dogs, then you can go back, but I understand the sound
Yeah.
situation, but one-on-one, when they come up and say, show them pictures, like you said, that's in the lobby. Or like, there's enough videos on Facebook, they get an idea, like mama's so docile. When you bring her out, she just walks out and sits right next to you.
Right.
So show them that environment too, as to, look how happy they are, like, they're jumping on you. And they just wanna go for a walk and they wanna play, and, that's a great idea to bring them out instead of putting 20-some dogs at one time and saying.
But I
"Okay,
think
pick
sometimes
dogs."
you can't give people the choice.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to do what's best for the job that we're doing and say, hey, we now have 26 dogs. We're not gonna walk you back there. These are the dogs we have. Maria's been keeping up with all the pictures. Every dog that comes here, we'll tell you about them. If you'd like to see this dog and we think it's a good fit, we'll be more than happy to bring it out. So we're not denying them. It's just that sometimes they're waiting for a bus and want to kill 15 minutes, and that 15 minutes is the person that's cleaning kennels has to hear that.
Would it be beneficial to write something up in the lobby, just so people understand when they walk in, they're not gonna be able just to walk back right now.
Right, we could write it up. We
Yeah.
have good relationships with the media. I'm sure they'll be happy to do a story on it,
Yeah.
let people know.
Okay.
We're not turning you away. We were
Yeah.
not gonna do it to hamper any adoptions, but we have to do it for the safety of our visitors and our workers and for the comfort of our dogs. I
Yeah.
mean, I always say we gotta keep them as stress-free as possible. It's tough for them in there and
Yeah.
you know. If
Awesome,
you
yeah.
can walk a dog out the back door instead of walking them through 15 other dogs, then walk them out the back door. It's sometimes it's just simple things that you gotta get people used to doing
Yeah.
because it does make that difference, so.
Awesome. Yeah, well then
So I
let's
think
make,
for now, I'd like to definitely, and
Yeah.
you know, I'll take the brunt of it, but I think it's definitely,
yeah,
it's something we need to do.
yeah, well, let's make the motion then to have Tom write up something, if that's okay with you.
Write it up and, cause I'll send it to the commission.
And send it to the commissioners, but we'll just make the motion that you do that,
Okay.
and then you'll have it posted. For the time being,
time
due to
being.
the sound,
Right.
and yeah, so let's just do that.
Right.
So do I have a motion for that? I'll be first. Anyone want to be second? Awesome, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, great, and then, yeah, and then we'll just see what happens. I mean, I agree with Dr. Dawn. I think for like the behavioral sense for the animals, also for the people.
Right.
But it's just like, it's not good for the dogs to just be like always crazy with all these
Quite
new
honestly,
people.
that's why we
Yeah.
don't allow our volunteers to clean kennels.
Yeah,
9 out of 10 volunteers say, I don't mind cleaning kennels. To put you back there to clean the kennels, these dogs it's not fair to them.
Yeah.
It's just not good
we
for
don't
them.
know yet.
So it's not about me, because I could always walk out
Mhm.
and work in the yard. The fact is, these dogs, that's their temporary home. And to have a stranger back there to bring that stress to them, that's not what we're supposed to do, so.
Awesome. Well, thank you for bringing it up. Yeah, I'm glad. So yeah, we'll get that moving and through, and then, yeah, you can just send that to the
Yeah, we'll get
commissioners.
that moving this
yeah.
week.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, is there anything else?
I just want to say thank you to everybody. I mean, I think everybody has stepped up. Your staff is phenomenal. The girls are great. Your volunteers are great. Everybody is really pitching in to help them because we know there is a problem. You know, there's more than enough dogs up there that is a 24-hour responsibility, and there's not enough time in the day to care for all of them.
Yeah.
But they're doing an excellent job up there.
Well, I appreciate the extra help too. And I don't have to be there when you visit. Just
Yeah.
go and visit, and if you see something, let me know, and if you have a question, just ask me, because. And I'm happy Jason's on board, I really am, because we've always had a good working relationship, and he's the right guy, and I'm glad for that, so. I think the future of the shelter is looking good, and I'm happy about that.
And I would just add one thing, if, I would like to invite anyone here on the board and Tom as well, and any of your staff to, if you would like to tour the facility that I currently work at. It's a huge facility. We have 90 full-time employees and 300 volunteers. It's a shelter. We have nine veterinarians as well. If you want to take a tour of the facility, to get ideas for what we can do on our smaller scale, you're more than welcome to come down anytime. And
And where's that at?
it's in Delaware County.
Okay,
It's about an hour's drive.
okay.
It's not that far.
Yeah.
Right down the turnpike. But it is a massive facility. We have 2 locations, but our main location is in Media, Pennsylvania. And there's I know we can't do it at that grandiose scale.
Right.
It's not a government
I get it.
run facility. However,
We can learn from each other. and that, I think, is
absolutely,
very important.
absolutely, and you're more than welcome to come take a tour.
Perfect.
I can walk you through everything and see
Nice.
what we do versus what this county does, and see what we can take from each other.
And I think that'd be great too, because that's what we did with Lehigh Valley Humane Society, and this would be another awesome opportunity, you know? Yeah,
Yeah, anytime.
Other place.
That you're free, you
Cool.
can come down and we can schedule something. And I'll buy you all lunch.
thanks for saying that, Jason.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Awesome. Okay, do we have any further business? Nothing, no, okay. Awesome, okay, and then the last thing is, next meeting is Tuesday, September 5th, 2023, and the location will be at 44 Susquehanna Street in Jim Thorpe. Okay, and I think that's it for now, and we'll see everyone in September,
Perfect.
and we are adjourned.
All right. Great job. Very constructive meeting tonight, guys. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.